residents in beautiful western North Carolina.
Land that I love, stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above.
Hi, I'm Carl Mumpauer. I have a 45-minute presentation ready for a little bit later. I'll save that. I was at like many of you, an event that Congressman Taylor held a while back. That's all right. I'm leaning over. I can rest. I'm in the over 55 crowd. It's nice to rest. And I'll never forget something he said. He was handing out roses. It was a pretty big meeting. He was handing out roses to the ladies. And he said, I know where the power is in the Republican Party. I think he's right, that the ladies often carry the day, that the ladies often work the hardest. And I've got to say this, guys, quite often the ladies have the most to teach us. So thank you for doing this evening. Please stay for my 45-minute presentation a little bit later.
I will ask the candidates to speak a little later on. We have several things on the program, but Mayor McCrory's group have to go to another event, and so he would like to speak early. His name is Chris Emanuel.
Thank you so much. I'll tell you, it's really great to be here. The hospitality is unbelievable. And when Richard was singing, "That's All Right, Mama," those of you that are over 55 can probably tell me what the flip side of that song was that Elvis recorded, remember? On the Sun label? What was it? Anybody know? Blue Moon of Kentucky, right? Right, okay, that's what it was. The reason why I know that is across the mountain here, my wife is from Irwin, Tennessee. And she was a fellow Elvis fan, and I probably wouldn't have married her unless she loved Elvis like I did. I mean, that was our generation. Anyway, let me talk a little bit about Pat McCrory. Who is Pat McCrory? What is he going to do that's different? Well, let me say this. First of all, many of you, ladies and gentlemen, listen to me very carefully. That is not true. Pat McCrory will debate Beverly Perdue any place, anywhere, anytime, especially in the West, because he's ready and he understands, as we do, how important Western North Carolina is. Pat mentioned last Saturday at the Republican State Convention that he, in fact, wanted to bring the Carolinas together, our state together. Not to be the West, the Piedmont, and the East, but bring us all together. I think that's great. How many of you heard that speech? Or any at the convention? Anybody hear that speech? Okay, thanks. Appreciate it. All right, let me just say briefly, and I don't want to occupy too much time here. What does Pat want to do? I want to use this area as an example. There's a gentleman that I don't know personally, but I know for a fact that lives here in the Asheville area. And this gentleman wanted to start, and did start, a company that employed several hundred people to build jet engine blades for small jet engines that go on corporate airplanes, okay? So he shopped around and he checked the tax base, and where do you think he built that factory? Across the border in Georgia. Why? Because the tax rate is much cheaper down there. So what does Pat McCrory want to do? When Pat becomes the governor, he wants to lower and will lower our state taxes on a personal level and on a corporate level so that he can induce corporations like this gentleman to build our factories and bring employment here. Lower the tax rate, get more revenue in so that we can in fact have a better lifestyle. This is a fantastic state. I've been here 19 years and I love it. Now, let me just say something else too briefly and I'll end now. We need you to get out here and vote. This is so critical this year. Why am I working so hard? I'm speaking from the heart. I'm a retired airline pilot. I'm a volunteer. I'm working for Pat because I believe in what he can do. changing North Carolina. What are we talking about changing? Changing things like the secret slush fund meetings that they have, the roads to nowhere, the gangs that are coming in. Pat will make these things happen, and I thank you so much for your time. God bless you all, and please remember us. Thanks again.
Thank you, Chris, very much. We look forward to seeing Pat McCrory when he comes here.
My name's Nick Oxner. I'm the campaign manager for Jack Sawyer's campaigns for Secretary of State. I'm here today at the governor's western residence here in beautiful western North Carolina. We're out here telling the good folks of western North Carolina a little bit about Jack Sawyer today, and hopefully he'll be able to get out here very soon in the near future as we campaign across the state and we get back out here to Asheville early and often. Jack Sawyer is running for Secretary of State this year to bring new and accountable leadership to the people of North Carolina. Right now we see a culture of comfort, and we see a Raleigh government that's being governed by one party in a two-party state government system. What Jack wants to do is change some of the things that he's seen in North Carolina over the past 12 years. We have Secretary Marshall, who on her watch has failed to receipt over $70,000 in cash receipts in over 90 days in accordance with the North Carolina Deposit Act. We see Secretary Marshall, who's taking part in party cruises at the taxpayers' expense that's cost the taxpayers of North Carolina over $30,000. On Secretary Marshall's watch, we've seen over 100,000 Social Security numbers up on her website that she failed to take down. And most importantly, we've seen over $400,000 in an annual budget that private nonprofit groups have said could be taken out that she refuses to take out and continues to spend. And Jack Sawyer's running for Secretary of State in North Carolina so that he can bring new and accountable leadership and change the culture of big government in Raleigh.
Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. He is trampling out the vintage where the grapes of wrath are stored. He hath loosed the fateful lightning of his terrible swift sword. His truth is marching on.